Ooh, crazy, crazy. There's so much fizz. Fizzy, fizzy. So tired of the word fizz. Put this away for now. Can. Okay, so fizz. It's not your mother's breakfast cereal. All right. So anyway, fizz. Let's examine fizz. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to listen. Switch camera views here. All right. So we're going to listen to a very popular clip. But we'll do that in a minute. I want to show you something. So first, we're going to bring out some isolated tracks. We're just going to have a little listen. We're going to start with this one right here. Wow. That's a fizzy. Okay. Come on. Let's go another Van Halen. Let's hear some fizz in here. Turn off the ads here. Modulated fizz. Okay. All right. How about some fizzy? Very fizzy. Is it just the 80s? Well, let's move into the, let's move into the 90s. That's kind of fizzy. How about some Aerosmith? Fizzy beautiful. Sounds real fizzy. Fizz. How many times a fizz meter? Fizz. Okay. Steve Vai, here we go. That's got a creamy, smooth, non-fizzy. Okay, let's try. No, there's no fizz there. Okay, hang on. Eagles, they won't have any fizz. Let's see. Huh. Weird. Fizz. Okay, so fizz. Yeah. So here's we're gonna get into the track that I wanted to get into, and this track is the Guns N' Roses track. And what I've done is I've matched the isolated with the actual song. So let's hear a little bit of the actual song. Here goes. Okay, so now let's switch it up. Let's silence that track and let's have a listen to what we just listened to on Isolated. What? Serious? That is some visual. Fizzy, fizzy. Fizzy, fizzy, fizzy. Yeah, fizzy, fizzy, fizzy. Okay, let's bring the other one in. What? That's crazy. Huh. Weird. Fizz. Sounds horrible. Also sounds horrible. But in the mix, sound amazing. Okay, so the reality is, you may not like your guitar tone alone, but that fizz is what helps fit in the mix. It's what the guitar amps actually sound like when they're being recorded. They have that fizz. If you're trying to dial this fizz out, and I know some people talk about crossover distortion and fizzily this, and I just don't hear it. If everything's set up correctly, you get your normal amp fizz, but you're not getting this crazy. I can't stand it. It's fizzy, high end. Now that said, there is something that we can talk about on how to minimize the errant fizzes that you might hear, but don't take them all out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in this guitar tone here. Let's go back to the editor. Let's put this over here. And as you can see, that beginning part of the track has only a angle meteor amp, and there was fizz in it, sure. So now how do we get rid of some of that? How do we get rid of some of that fizz? Well, let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and make this a little smaller so you can see what's going on. Actually, probably should make it bigger. There it is. Let's go over here and move my face. Oh, voila, we moved my face. Okay, so we'll go in here and we're going to click down and we're going to look at the amp settings. So we click on what you can't see. I'm clicking on the speaker right underneath my picture. And let's go make my face even smaller. Okay, so we've got the amp and we've got this. And so what you want to do to minimize fizz and low end rumble is actually mimic what an actual cab is doing, an actual cab speaker. So most cabs or speakers, roughly 80 to 100, maybe even 110 or even higher, to get that thumpiness out, which gets in the way. And there's the other one in the mix that I talked about, another in depth. But right here is, let's put the speaker cab there, and man, you know, you can roll these off to get rid of that. Fizz, you can roll it down to 6K or even lower, clear down to 4 or 5, and here's the results. Here's what you get when you do that. But I'm going to show you another trick, and it has to do with EQ and Q. So okay, now you're hearing the fizz. Okay, so set that there, but there's another way you can do it, and I'm going to leave this up so that you can tell the difference here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one, and I set the Q on here all the way on 10 so that it makes a nice peak. Okay, you're hearing the fizz come in there, right? Now, if I lower Q, it takes a bigger swath. It takes a bigger, you know, path. So, but I want a nice tight peak because I want to be able to isolate that fizz. So you're getting some fizz in here in the 4K zone. There's fizz up here. But so now watch. So you move that around till you lose the fizz. If it's not quite cutting the, you can raise it a little bit. See, look at, we can or lower the Q and make it wider. We take a bigger path. See how it's getting wider. See how it's getting wider here. So now. But again, as excuse me, as I have illustrated, I don't know why get rid of it. I think you should probably, especially in a loud mix, lower the, you know, in a loud mix, I think you should probably lower the cab, the high cut to 6K or a little more. And I only use global when I'm setting a room. The reason I showed you global here, it's graphically, it can show you. You can transfer once you find your sweet spot in here. What you do is you keep track of all these numbers right here. You keep track of all those numbers right there, and then you set your global EQ off or put it back to you know, put it back to flat, and then you can turn it off right here. But after you've recorded all the numbers, you can get it back to flat, and then you can put a parametric EQ at the last of your chain, and it's the same as using a global EQ, but then you can use your global EQ just for rooms. So you get to a room, it's too thumpy. Well, you can grab this one right here in your global EQ, turn it off, and then get the thump out, right? Now, if it's too high, if it's too too much highs or too much hiss or whatever, you can take and lower the highs out of your global EQ. That way you can shape your room, but that's only for room shaping or learning. I wouldn't use this on a regular basis. Get your system correct, have the correct ins and outs, and have everything set correctly, and you're golden. So hopefully this helps. And I was trying to use a little humor to get the point across, and I hope nobody's offended. It's just a little bit of fun. But really, it's Fizz is not bad. It's in all the recordings. It's when you hear it in the mix, it's perfect. It fits. You know, the hi-hats cover it, and the low bass covers the lows, and the bass drum, the kick drum. It's all covered up. It's all part of being in a mix. The fact is, if you're standing out too much, well, then you're not mixing correctly. So you want to be a nice blend. So I hope this helps. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody has a fantastic day. Hope this answered a few questions. Have a stellar day. Bye-bye.